Hi guys, so I'm just going to this is an introduction video for the coming playlist for installing Dlib. So I'm gonna tell you about how how we're going to set up the system. So for now I'm using a fresh Ubuntu machine and it has normal all the packages which is installed. So while installing we get an option for minimum installation and the normal one. So I have gone through the normal one. I've included the third-party software, though these and all doesn't impact the installation, but this is just like extra information. And so we will start with installing PyCharm and setting up the system for and what all installation procedures are there that I will explain in my first video, which will be system setup. Then I have setting the default Python for the system. So in Ubuntu we have Python 2.7 and 3.7. For general user you have there will be a default one. Generally for the older version we have Python 2.7. From the version which I'm using, which is the recent one, which is 19.04, in that the default version is Python 3.7. So I'm going to explain you how you can set up your, either if you're using Python 2.7, so you can jump it to 3.6, I guess, if you have that, or if you have 3.7, then you can go ahead with that. Now the difference between within the series is not a problem, so you may have 3.6 or 3.7 Python. Don't worry, you can go ahead and continue with these videos. It will run for you too, so there is no problem there. I do prefer if you jump from 2.7 to 3x series, because I've seen maybe face recognition, many of the packages and things will not work as properly as it works in 3.x series. So I'm going to explain you how to set it by default and how you can make sure your system is okay from the Python part. The second is we're going to set up the PyCharm. So whenever we install, so I'll show you the command from where you can install it. And secondly, if you have so by default it gives you a virtual environment there. So what you have to do is you just have to make sure that I am not using virtual environment for this particular list. So you can remove that and put it on default your base interpreter, which is your Python 3.7, which is your default Python for this system. Why I'm saying that is, if you run as a virtual environment, there will be some of the commands you may need to, not for the installation but for further implementing your project and everything. For me, I have done a lot of commands which need system access as a admin, and in case of virtual environment you have to run that virtual environment again and again for doing. I find it a lot of more commands for whatever I am looking to achieve. It doesn't need a virtual environment that properly, so it's all okay for me. But yes, virtual environment has its own benefits. So if you're okay and you're comfortable using virtual environments, please go ahead. It will not create that big difference. Yeah, in case you get stuck, so you can just reach out to me on that. So I'm going to explain you on that, and then we're going to jump directly to installing OpenCV. So I think this one has two parts. The cloning and everything takes a lot of time. So in the first video I just have told you how you can go to the website and what all packages are required and how you can start cloning. And once the cloning is done, there are still some dependencies that you may need to install and cross check. So in this it will start from the scratch, that you don't have a OpenCV in the system, and then we will get all that OpenCV files accessible by PyCharm itself, and PyCharm will show you the version for that OpenCV. So from that, so it's like from scratch to everything that you have installed and all the system setup and sources that you need to work on OpenCV. So I will explain you that in this video. And then this is the main one, that how we're going to install Dlib at last. and how face recognition need to be installed. So for installing face recognition, basically we do all these steps. So this is install Dlib. So we need to install Dlib to run face recognition. Basically it is a dependency for face recognition. If you directly go ahead and just do sudo pip3 install face recognition, it will not work. Your system may freeze. My entire OS got down, so I'm not suggesting to go that way directly. Just go ahead this way. And the last one is to run the bash file from the Python in PyCharm directly. So what happened is, by this step, to reach this step, you're going to run a lot of commands, like a lot of packages and all. So problem is, every time if you run all these commands every time again and again, it's a big headache. This is just one tiny part of my big project that I keep on working on and keep on improving it. So I need a lot of packages, and sometimes it just slipped from my mind that maybe I miss installing some packages. So and then my entire project fails. So I've created one batch file for myself. It's nowhere online, that's completely local and with me. So it contains those batch files which I can run on from Python. One simple Python script is there, and then I just leave my system for 1 or 2 hours, and it just install everything and make sure that everything is working fine. And once that is done, I can just go ahead and work on my project, clone it from Git, and just go ahead and PyCharm get everything, install package. So this is a fun part. So why I have added this in this tutorial is, I will add this video in others as well, but I'm making sure to add this because I receive a lot of comments, requests on emails and hangouts that can we do it automatic. So yes, there is an option to do it automatic. You just have to run script file. So I'll show you in this video. Typically I'll show you how to write that Python script file and how you're going to make your bash file, and how you're going to store it, and how you're going to access it by the Python, and you just run it and cross check if everything is working fine or not. So these all are video are. So we can jump to the first part now. So with the same name as the heading is, you can go ahead. So if you have watched this video, it's really great for you. This is kind of an introduction for the entire playlist. So you can go ahead according to the dots, and you can just simply run to that video if you know all or the other part. But I would suggest if you go from point 1 to the last one, I'm pretty sure you will end up installing Dlib and face recognition, and well, you will be aware how to run the batch file, so you can do it for your other projects also. So that would be all. I'm gonna close this one now, but I would prefer if you install that. So that's all. Thank you.